Tonight, you're going to dream, probably 4 to 6 times. And by the time you finish your coffee tomorrow morning, you won't remember almost any of it. Not because nothing happened. Something happened. A lot happened. Your brain built entire worlds last night. Characters, conversations, places that don't exist, versions of people you know saying things they'd never say. You were fully present for all of it. And then you woke up, reached for it for maybe 10 seconds, and watched it dissolve like it was never there. That's not a small glitch. That's your brain doing something on purpose. And once you understand why, you'll never look at your own mind the same way again.
Let's start with the basics, because most people don't actually know this part. For most of human history, we assumed dreaming was rare, occasional, something that happened when the mind was especially restless. That changed in 1953, when a graduate student named Eugene Aserinsky, working under physiologist Nathaniel Kleitman at the University of Chicago, noticed something strange while monitoring sleeping subjects. Their eyes were moving, rapidly, underneath closed lids, back and forth, like they were watching something. When Aserinsky woke people up during these episodes, almost all of them reported vivid dreams. When he woke people up outside these episodes, almost none did. That was the discovery of REM sleep, rapid eye movement, and it proved something researchers hadn't been able to prove before. Dreaming isn't occasional, it's scheduled, structured. Your brain cycles through REM sleep every 90 minutes or so, all night, every night, whether you remember any of it or not. So the question isn't, why do I dream sometimes? The question is, if this is happening constantly, on a schedule, every single night of your life, where does all of it go?
Here's where it gets stranger. For decades after Aserinsky's discovery, scientists assumed forgetting dreams was just memory being weak, or dreams being too fragile to stick. But newer research on the neuroscience of waking suggests something much more specific is happening. During REM sleep, your brain's levels of norepinephrine, a chemical closely tied to attention and memory formation, drop to almost nothing. It's one of the only times all day your brain runs without it. And norepinephrine is essential for laying down memories you can retrieve later. Without it, dream content is built vividly, in real time, but it's built on a foundation that was never designed to save it. Then, right at the transition into waking, there's a narrow window. Some studies on dream recall show that if noradrenaline spikes back on quickly and you happen to wake up during or right after a REM phase, you can catch a dream before it disappears. That's why some mornings you remember everything, and other mornings, waking from deep non-REM sleep, you remember nothing at all. Not because you didn't dream, but because you woke up on the wrong side of the chemical switch. Your memory of dreaming isn't really about the dream. It's about which chemical state you happen to wake up in. But here's the part nobody talks about. This isn't just your brain failing to save the file. Some researchers argue it's closer to the opposite, that forgetting dreams might be an active filtering mechanism, not a passive failure. Your waking mind has to build a coherent sense of what's real and what happened. If it retained the same vivid, emotionally charged, physically felt experience of every dream alongside your actual memories, the two could start blending. You'd be carrying thousands of fictional, uncategorized experiences into your understanding of your own life. So instead, the brain appears to run something close to nightly damage control. It lets the dream happen, fully, vividly, with real emotional weight. And then, in the transition to waking, it strips most of the retrievable trace before that content can compete with your actual memories. Which means every night, you are the sole author, actor, and audience of an entire private production. And every morning, your own brain deletes almost all of it. Not by accident, by design. Think about what that actually means at scale. If you live to be 80, and you dream even conservatively, say 4 times a night, that's over 100,000 dreams across your lifetime. 100,000 fully rendered internal experiences. Fear,
joy, absurdity, grief, entire relationships that unfolded and resolved while you were unconscious. And you'll consciously remember, at most, a few thousand of them, if that. The overwhelming majority happen and vanish, witnessed by nobody, not even you, in any lasting way. There's a strange kind of privacy in that, a part of your inner life that nobody else will ever know about, including, eventually, you.
So tonight, you'll dream again, somewhere around 90 minutes into sleep, and then again and again, cycling through the night. Somewhere in there, your brain will write something, a story, a scene, a version of your life that never happened. And tomorrow morning, you'll wake up, catch maybe 10 seconds of it slipping through your fingers before your first fully conscious thought even forms. And then it'll be gone, filed under nothing, as if it never happened, except it did, every night for your entire life.